girls. In this week's edition of cooking, we're going to be making a ice cream sandwich using instant pudding, graham crackers, Cool Whip, and of course some milk. So what we're going to do is follow the directions on the instant pudding mix, which says to mix the mix with 2 cups of milk. So we're going to start this first part. It's a 2-part recipe. So I like to put the dry ingredients in first. So you just open up the package. It's a 3.4 ounce package. It's the smaller one. And we're just going to pour the powder in. Make sure you get it all out. Okay. And then we're going to slowly pour, and you're using a whisk. Looks like this. If you don't have a whisk, you can still use a spoon, that's fine. But it's better if you have a whisk. We're going to whisk 2 cups of milk in. You want to get it all off the bottom. Once you have that mixed, now this has to go into, if you notice, it's very watery. It's not puddingy like. So it's not puddingy like. So we want to get it put in the refrigerator so it'll set, which means it'll harden, okay? Because right now it's just dripping wet. That's not like pudding or anything I can do with it. So let me put this in the refrigerator. And then I will come back and we'll do the next part of it once this is hardened up, okay? Or thickened up. Hi, we're back. So I put this in the refrigerator to chill for about 10 minutes. And I just want you to see, remember how it was really liquidy like a milk? Now I just want you to see that it's more like pudding consistency. So this is what we want. So what we're going to do is we're going to mix 2 cups of Cool Whip. I'm going to use the measuring cup, and we're going to mix it into the pudding. Okay. So two cups. Doesn't have to be perfect, but I don't want to overdo it. Okay, so here's 1 cup. Okay. And then this is the 2nd cup. So it's almost using the whole container. As you can see, there's not too much left. And that's the 2nd cup. Okay. I'm just going to kind of mix that together. It's going to be really creamy. You can still see the pudding on the bottom and the Cool Whip on the top. So I might need to get a spoon. Make sure that those edges get mixed in really well. I want to make sure that gets all, maybe I'll switch to a spoon. See that? And now I can see the pudding coming up mixing in nicely. Okay. So now what we're going to do is take the graham cracker and we're going to break it in half this way. Okay. And this is going to be the bottom. Okay. So I'm going to take 3 tablespoons of filling. So I took a tablespoon and we're going to say 1, 2, oh boy, 3. That's going to almost overflow. So maybe I'll just do 2. Okay. And then you take the other half and you place it on top. And it's probably, yeah, it's going to ooze out a little bit off the sides. Okay. And then what we're going to do is wrap these with saran wrap and put them in the freezer to freeze for 1 hour. Okay, so I'll show you how to do that. I'm not going to squeeze it too much because I don't want it all to come out. But I'm going to wrap that up. And I'm going to place that in the freezer. Okay. Same thing with this one, gentle. I don't want to squeeze it too much. Okay, like that. And then just fold it over this side, fold over this side, gently wrap it. And then you're going to do that and you're going to make 24 of these sandwiches. Put them in the freezer for an hour, okay? So I'm gonna do that right. I'm gonna finish these up and put them in the freezer for an hour and then we're gonna come back and take a look at them, okay? Okay, so I just took this out of the freezer. It's been in the freezer for 1 hour. And it did set up nicely. It is nice and solid. Could be a little more solid, but what I want to do is add a topping. So you can use chocolate chips or sprinkles. And you just pour them into a bowl, something that has sides on it. And just cover the bottom. And then you can just take the sandwich and just press down on all 4 sides. Until it covers. And then you have a nice little added treat on there. Okay? And then what I would do is then wrap it back up and put it back in the freezer for maybe another half hour to hour and then enjoy. What I'd like you to do is to leave some comments and let me know which topping worked best and were you able to get more than 3 tablespoons. As you see, it's a little bit smaller. I would have liked it to be a little thicker. Let me know if you can figure out a way to do that. It was kind of coming out the sides a little bit. Let me know what topping you liked the best, and I hope you have fun. Enjoy. Hi guys. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to make pudding pops. And we're going to use a Jell-O mix with 2 cups of milk. I'm just going to follow the directions on the package, and then I'm going to whip up some heavy whipping cream, and then we're going to pour it into a popsicle mold. And if you don't have a popsicle mold, you can use a small cup, and then you put foil over the top, and you stick a popsicle stick in and put it in the freezer. Okay, so let's get started, and I'll walk you through the steps. The first thing we're going to do is do the pudding. Now, what I found online said you want to use the cook and serve Jell-O, but ShopRite didn't have it. I couldn't find it. So we're going to try this with the regular instant chocolate pudding Jell-O brand. So we'll see how it goes. So open up your package, put it into the bowl. And then the package calls for 2 cups of milk. So again, we're going to use this measuring cup. We're going to put it on the 2-cup line with milk. Okay. So it went a little bit over. And then we're going to mix it in. I'm going to save this because we're going to need that to do the next step. I'm going to use a spoon. So then we're just going to mix this. You know what? I think I'd rather mix it with this whisk works a lot better than the spoon. Spoon will work if you don't have a whisk, but if you do have a whisk in your drawer, this is a lot easier. It just breaks up those clumps because you don't want any clumps in your pudding mix. Okay, let me get the rest of that chocolate off of there. See, there was some stuck on the end. Got that nice and mixed up, go around the edges. Okay. So I'm going to put this in the refrigerator to set for about 5 minutes, and then we'll start working on the next step. Okay? So the next part is we're going to need, this is called heavy whipping cream. It's very different from heavy cream. You got to make sure it has that whipping word in there, heavy whipping cream, okay? Because that is going to, when you'll see, we're going to make it right now. It's going to whip up to like a whipped cream, okay? So I'm going to shake it up, and I only need a 1/2 cup whipped. Take the okay, 1/2 cup, a little bit more. Okay. Pour that in, and then we're just going to. Now, if you have a mixer, an electric mixer, you can always use that, and it makes it go faster. And you just want to whip this. It started out like milk, but when we whip it up, it's going to be more like a whipped cream. It'll be a little thicker. So you need to keep stirring it until it whips up like a whipped cream. I don't know if you can see. can see, it's taking a long time. So what I think I'm going to try is I'm going to try the electric hand mixer and whip that up. So hold on one second. Okay, so what I did this time is I'm going to get out this hand mixer and see if I can try to put the it might be backwards. If it doesn't go in, it might be in backwards. That one does not want to go on that side either. That one went in, and this one does not want to go in. There we go. Okay.
No. Yeah.
So we're just going to whip that up. Okay, so after about 5 minutes, that liquid heavy whipping cream, instead of being that liquid, now it's thick, which is like a whipped cream, which is what we want. Okay, so now the pudding should be set, and we're going to fold in the whipping cream that we whipped into the pudding. So let me go get that. So as you can see, this is thick like pudding now. Okay, see that? And now we're going to mix in this heavy whipping cream. Now, you might be able to use Cool Whip. That might work too. I'm not sure how that'll freeze, so maybe that's why the recipe asks you to do it this way, but you can always try it, and you can make it both ways and see which way it tastes better. But we're just gonna mix that in until it's all mixed together. Okay. Also calls, excuse me, it also calls for an extra 1/4 cup of sugar, but I don't know if I'm going to add that or not. Maybe to offset the whipping cream, because the whipping cream isn't sweet like whipped cream is, so it might need an extra little bit of sugar to make up the difference. So we'll go ahead and do that. Okay, so I'm going to add a 1/4 cup of sugar to make up the difference for the whipping cream that we added. And we're going to put all that together. Now, remember when I told you in the beginning that they wanted me to use the cook and serve, and you would then cook it on the stove to follow the directions on the package, and you would add sugar and milk and this, and you would boil it together and then let it cool and then add the whipping cream in. So you can try that way. We're gonna try it this way and see how it tastes. But this is pretty, as you can see, that's pretty much mixed nicely together. So then we're going to put them into our mold. So if you have a popsicle mold, you would just fill them in, put your lid on top, and you freeze it for 3 to 4 hours. If you don't have that, you can use a small cup Now I have larger cups. I would use a smaller cup, maybe about between 3 and 5 ounces. Put the pudding in, put a piece of tin foil over the top and stick a popsicle stick in, and then put it in the freezer like that. So I'm just going to pour some of this in here. I'm just going to mix that up because there was some leftover milk in there. Okay, and then makes it easier to pour when you use with this kind of a measuring cup. So we're just going to pour it into the mold. Almost to the top. And then you're just going to put this on top, seal it up. If you didn't have that, you would just put tin foil over it and stick a popsicle stick in, okay? We're going to put that in the freezer for 3 to 4 hours, and then we'll check it and see how it looks, okay? Okay, so the popsicles have been in the freezer for 3 hours, and I loosened it up just a little bit so we could kind of get it out. And there you have a frozen fudge-sicle. It's good. Give it a try. See, let me know how you like it. Maybe you could try putting a little bit of vanilla in there and give it a little swirl. Or maybe you could try different flavors and let me know how you like it. Okay, have fun.